Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I, the pure consciousness, would manifest the words of truth and the words of wisdom. You see, I, the pure consciousness, would manifest the words of truth and the words of wisdom for whatever the time I have left. I have chosen to speak only and only the words of truth and the words of wisdom. Whether I would speak the words of truth and the words of wisdom, or I won't speak at all. Blessings be on my listener who is also pure consciousness, since there is no boundary, there is no barrier in consciousness. Consciousness is just one consciousness. So blessings be on my listener, the one who has been seeking truth, herself or himself. The gender has never been important for me. The gender, the color, the age, the background, these things are never important. Okay, before we further move into our live transmission, and I brought this topic up today, I am basically talking in last numerous days, and as I mentioned yesterday, that I am frequenting. You see the word frequenting? I'm frequenting the messages and the words of truth and the words of wisdom. That's number one. And number two, I also am choosing the topics which I think personally are very, very significant, um, just in case. You see, I want to make sure that I have covered everything just in case. Now, communication, working assumptions, or making assumption. Yesterday we um, talk about forgiveness and the karma and the karma and the end of delusion. The day before yesterday, we spoke about the ultimate truth. You see, these things I have been talking about throughout since I started my channel on October the 1st, 2020, last year, October the 1st. I've been talking about these things quite a bit, but now I am highlighting some of the messages that I feel are very important, or some of the things that cannot be ignored in our society. Because some things that exist in our society, if we do not do anything about it, it would create more and more distance among humans. And we, the yogis, we, the sages, or the wise people throughout the world, we all people have been fighting with these type of negative traits, which creates distances among humans. Making assumption and not clarify is one of those traits, though. We would definitely get on with the topic, that's a given. However, yesterday when I was delivering the message about um, forgiveness, karma, reincarnation, and the end of delusion, and in the brackets, salvation. If you remember yesterday, the message was interrupted. The entire video was interrupted quite a bit, if you remember. And I apologize for that, even though It's not my fault, but I think apologizing is a right and polite thing to do. Um, it was very bizarre because the broadband, you see, the broadband the broadband we use here in our house, it's a very high quality, very expensive broadband, and it's got to be that way because we make sure that my messages or the messages that I deliver are being delivered without any type of interruption. So the broadband we use, it's a very good quality broadband. And also, when I deliver the message, I'm looking at the screen. As you see today, the appearance of the screen is slightly different because this message I'm delivering through my cell phone, if you understand what I'm saying. Today, I'm not using my laptop. I have this beautiful, brilliant laptop that I use to deliver the message, but I am not using that laptop. The reason I'm not using because I started or I tried or I made an attempt to start the video and deliver this message, but the same thing is happening again. That the bandwidth in the laptop, uh, it was perfectly intact with the laptop. You see the bandwidth through which we transfer the data. So the bandwidth in the laptop was perfectly intact. However, um, the the video, the bandwidth was perfectly intact. However, the video wouldn't go further. Only after a couple of seconds, the video would shut down. And so yesterday, after I delivered the message, me and my significant half, Bridget, who also a very realized being and spiritually very strong person and a healer. So me and Bridget, we sat together and we watched the entire video together, the same message I delivered, and there was no disruption in the bandwidth or the broadband. It was perfectly fine. However, the video, for some anonymous reason, it was being interrupted. Um, so the reason remained anonymous. You see, the reason remain anonymous. We don't know the reason of it. Anyway, we would just leave it on you, whatever your speculations are. However, it's not important. The most important part is that I deliver the message, and what the message is. It's the most important thing. So that's something that I needed to apologize to you. Um, and I hope, even though there was a disruption or the energy maybe I was projecting was taking over on the energy of wherever the energy is found in the most prominent ways. Um, so I chose today a topic, and I wanted to talk about it, and which is assumption or making assumption. If you remember, yesterday I said remember the word remember. You see, always remember this word. If you remember, in my numerous previous messages, I have mentioned a name, Don Miguel Ruiz. Don Miguel or Miguel, however you want to pronounce it, Don Miguel or Miguel Ruiz is basically he is my mentor, and I have learned tremendous amount of truth in him, and he has liberated me. He has done his job. For the job he signed up before we came into this body, me and him and all of us. You see, the job he was assigned, he has done a tremendous job. Um, so I actually have mentioned one of his books, which is The Four Agreements, and in the book, he talks about making assumptions. However, that book itself is enough to liberate you. So if you want to go ahead and get the book either through Amazon or the hard copy you can order, it's entirely up to you. But I would strongly recommend you to get the book, The Four Agreements. And the second thing I wanted to say, that we are not only going to look at how what assumption is doing to us and how we make assumptions, not only through his point of view, but through every point of view. You see, through the point of the wise people throughout the globe, not necessarily just in India, or the throughout the globe, the rishis, or the people, the sages, or the yogis from India, the wise people. You see, so we are going basically to talk about that, excuse me, that what are assumptions first. We are going to look, excuse me, we are going to look into it very profoundly, that what are the assumptions. So what happens basically, human mind can only answer you so much. First thing you need to remember, see, remember, um, human mind can only answer you so much. You see, first of all, human mind does not tell you something new. Please understand the nature of the mind, and then you would understand why we make assumptions. Uh, Human mind, what is human mind? Human mind, brain is not synonymous with mind. Mind exists basically on numerous levels. If you understand, human brain is not synonymous with the mind. Mind exists on numerous levels, okay? Mind means that the accumulation of the data which five uh, outbound senses. Have you ever noticed all the five outbound senses are outwards? Sound, smell, touch, sight, all that. You see, taste. Um, it's not important. We What is important? We have five senses. They're all outbound. What does that mean? It means that it's enough only for survival. But if you need to understand life, if you have to go beyond that. That's what it means. So through these five senses, your body is accumulating data all the time. Even when you are sleeping, you are perceiving something. You see, it's accumulating data all the time, your body. And then what happens is, um, this data, the memory within you is phenomenal. The memory within you is limitless. It can gather a lot of data. So that data circulates, you see, and then it creates a thought or an image or a scenario. That is what we understand mostly as mind. So it's fair to say that mind is not creating anything new. Mind is creating only what you know or what you have gathered also and already. And human mind cannot tell you anything new. Some But human mind, please remember, the human mind is also very curious to figure everything out. It's not necessary to figure everything out. Because whatever you are figuring out, basically, it's an assumption. It means that it may not be true. You see, that's what assumption is. And this is how assumption is made. Human mind cannot answer something, so it fills the gap by rearranging all the data which has been gathered already. You understand what I'm saying to you? And then human mind basically, I hope it's transmitting, excuse me, I hope it's transmitting the video. Well, looks like it. I truly, truly, truly hope so. Um, so human mind basically fills the gap by filling it with the data it has gathered. You understand what I'm saying to you? And it fills the gap through it. But it fills the gap with all the data that you already know. It's not telling you something. Human mind is curious to figure something out or figure everybody out so it can rest. However, the nature of the mind is such that it would never ever rest. Basically, as soon as you fill one gap, it would move on to the next one and it would just keep going. And then you see people when they complain that my mind would not be silent, my mind would not be quiet, my mind is not letting me rest, basically. So the thing is, you cannot conquer the mind. You can only tame it, or you can only protect yourself from it if it is making you restless. You see, you have full control on that. I tell you, I do it all the time by not making assumptions or leaving something alone if I have not gathered enough facts about it. You understand what I'm saying? We human worry so much. Please remember that. We human worry so much. It's a conditioning that we always are trying to figure people out and trying to figure things out, and hence in the process we get very worried. You don't have to worry so much, by the way. You need to put some trust on your own self by dedicating yourself to Kriya Yoga and practice or any type of meditation. Make some time for yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be Kriya. You can do any type of meditation in silence. You see, in seclusion, in silence, you can do that. Silence, as I said, silence is the basic important thing. So make some time for yourself in silence, and you would learn to trust yourself. Then you wouldn't have to worry so much to figure other things out. First, figure yourself out. It's very important because you are so humongous that cannot be explained or encompassed in the words, that you exist on numerous levels. If you only understand the immensity of yourself, one lifetime is enough to figure yourself out. Only, I'm not even joking with you. You see, so this is how we make assumptions. We don't know something, but we don't want to leave it alone. We don't want to admit to ourselves that we don't know something, and then we try to fill the gap. If you don't know something, leave it alone and leave yourself alone. You see, don't worry so much. You have heard of John Lennon. I'm sure that you have heard of John Lennon. Lennon was not only affiliated with the band Beatles, but he was also a very wise and very realized person. You understand what I'm saying to you? Lennon was also a very, very realized person. And he said once that everything is going to be okay in the end. If it is not okay, it's not the end. You understand? He said everything is going to be okay in the end. If it is not okay, it is not the end. You see, so quit worry so much. Don't try to figure anybody out. You, as my mentor Don Miguel Ruiz says, or Miguel Ruiz says, one of my uh, follower, they have Hispanic heritage, very nice people. And when I mentioned a couple of times Mr. Miguel name, so they corrected me and told me that it's Miguel. So my mentor Don Miguel Ruiz, he says, you either know something. Please follow these words. These words would liberate you. See, this is pure wisdom, pure and solid wisdom, truth. You either know something or you do not know. You understand the difference? You either know something or you do not know. There is no way in between. If you do not know, you do not know. You admit to yourself, and you are not going to make it up if you do not know. You see, this is very important. This would liberate you. Then you wouldn't have to worry so much. You would admit to yourself, what I know, and what I don't know, I don't know. You see what I'm saying to you? What I know, I know. What I don't know, I don't know. And do not make assumptions by seeing somebody acting unfriendly and you are thinking it's about you. It's also a very magnificent and very good point. You see, all the time it has spread in our American society here, and it has spread in every society, including Indian society, that people have made an assumption already in their mind that everything is about me. You see, always me. If somebody is being unfriendly for any number of reasons, there could be any number of reasons. You understand what I'm saying to you? There could be any number of reasons that they are acting a little cold and they are not being very friendly or energetic. It may not necessarily be about you. So please quit thinking that everything is about you. You understand? It's not about you. The person maybe is going through hard times. The person maybe they have some type of domestic issue, they have some type of financial issue, they have some type of relationship issue. There could be any number of things. They are hungover, for all we know, and they are tired, you see, for all we know. So we need to quit assuming that everything is about us, because you say, oh, probably I did something, maybe this is why this person is being unfriendly or being this way, you see, less energetic or something. No, you don't need to involve yourself with that poor person. If you are so concerned, instead of making assumption, you must go ahead and communicate. Unfortunately, we have replaced the significance of communication with assumptions. It's easier for us to make assumptions, and on the top of everything, we make a huge assumption that the assumptions we are making are true. You see, and it creates a huge psychological drama for no reason. You understand? Something which was very simple and small now has become something very enlarged because it has created a huge psychological drama in our mind. Just because we didn't communicate, we didn't ask the proper questions. You don't have to. If somebody is being unfriendly to you, leave your ego aside. We are here on this planet Earth for a very short and very small period of time. You understand? We are not here to suffer the drama of our ego, and we are not here to suffer the drama of self importance. You see, life is a very precious thing. We were dead long before we took this form, for long time. And then this would happen again, of course, is the course of the nature. So whatever the time we have between the birth and the bodily demise or the transition, we need to make the best out of it. We need to enjoy each other. We need to communicate with each other. If somebody is being unfriendly for any number of reasons, you don't have to be unfriendly in return. You can go ahead and politely communicate with that person. It's important. Our relationships with each other are sacred and they are important. This way we bond with each other as a human race. We are not here to suffer the drama of our ego. um, Human make assumptions and human have become so much distant from each other that even saying I love you seems like a workout to somebody, you see. I Excuse me, but that's true. I mean, don't wait for the future, because future never comes. We do not know how much time we have left. Remember, only the other day I quoted Gautama Siddhartha, the Buddha, the enlightened. He said that you think you have time. You see what I'm saying to you? That's what Gautama Buddha said. So we don't know. None of us knows how much time we have left. So make the best out of it in peace, in harmony. Don't make assumptions. Don't play the drama of your ego or self importance. It does not even exist anywhere, just a memory in your mind. Don't live in that. Communicate with each other. Ask politely. Somebody tells you something to do, just right in the middle, you just start talking over that person. Have you not noticed yourself doing that numerous times? First, listen. Listening is so important. What you do with that information is entirely your business, but at least learn to listen. Listen what this person is saying. What is the intention behind what this person is saying? Is it friendly to me? What is he saying? Maybe he's telling me something good. You see, first comprehend everything. Then, if you don't have enough facts, instead of jumping or walking blindly into the situation, ask that person questions and ask questions over and over. Communicate. You see, verify and communicate. This way, there would not be a there wouldn't be a psychological drama. There would be just peace. Communicate, politely ask questions, and ask as many questions as you can. It's not foolishness, it's not stupidity, it's, as a matter of fact, it's wisdom. So do not replace the significance or the dire of communication with assumption. You see, assumptions are not true. They may no be they may not be true. You see? So communicate, people. You see, it's important. This way we all can live in harmony and peace with each other. We the yogis, for centuries and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we the yogis have been in literally on a mission to clarify small things which makes huge difference among humans. You see, if you have any questions about what I said, please write me and I can answer you.